welcome to Back in Time.
I'm Dan Enriquez.
I'm Martin Burgess, and today's topic is New Year's Eve 2016.
The fiasco.
The big fiasco. We're going back to relive it and put it into bed once and for all.
Yes, because she has officially redeemed herself.
Officially, right?
Officially.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We can forget about it now. But let's just go through it all one last time, remember it, and then get over it. Laugh at it.
Yeah. Well, I think, in the moment of it, we did do a special episode discussing it. But that was we were there. It was very fresh.
It was in the heat of the moment.
And we were still angry.
Yeah,
And we were mad at a lot of people.
Yeah. And the whole story hadn't unraveled yet. This is an updated version of it. We've calmed down.
This is an updated version of it. Now it's we can look at it more objectively.
Right.
And understand exactly what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's paint a scene of the Mariah climate at the time. So as you know, it was in the Nightmare era, aka the Stella era, and now Mariah's World was already on television, and so we're about four episodes in, right? We're halfway through it.
Yeah,
and it was the first time we actually got to see Stella interact and work with Mariah, and we got to see what she was about. And I think a warning sign was during the second episode of Mariah's World when they were late to the Luxembourg show, 3 hours late for some very basic things that could have been avoided, like time change, which you should be checking.
Right.
So we already got a taste of the sloppiness of the management system that was around Mariah now. So I want to say when New Year's Eve happened and it melted down, that was just
that was the nail in the coffin.
Nail in the coffin. She had to go.
Because all of these technical glitches that were happening, they weren't just maybe her fault, but she's driving the bus.
Exactly.
Okay, so if someone has to make sure the gas tank is full, somebody has to make sure there's oil in there, but you're driving the bus, so if you don't press on the gas pedal, it's not going nowhere. So she's to blame.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Even though there's all these other people involved, you're the one driving, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's her fault.
Totally her fault. But it was just the peak. It's what really broke the camel's back with Stella and the Lambs relationship, I think, or most of the Lambs. Because when New Year's Eve happened, it was okay, this is it. We've got a problem now. There's a huge problem, and we're all embarrassed. Everybody's embarrassed now.
Right. Especially Mariah. She was put out there and she had nobody come save her. Nobody.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that's a problem. But it just shows the unprofessionalism of her team at the time. Nobody was willing to be oh, well, we got to end this, or we got to someone has to go on there and switch out her mic pad or whatever it has to be done. I don't care. It's live TV. It just, oh, well.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about what happened. What happened?
Okay. Well, what happened was...
So Mariah's time slot. So Mariah's was headlining Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve on ABC, which is one of the biggest shows on New Year's Eve in America.
Right. It's been around for decades and decades. Yeah. And Dick Clark is he's an iconic figure, from American Bandstand and all kinds of TV productions. I believe they also did the American Music Awards. I mean, they're involved. Dick Clark Productions and Dick Clark himself was involved in so many musical television productions.
Right.
So many that you do, everything, basically everything.
So they know what they're doing. It's not their first rodeo.
Yeah, they've been at this for a long time.
Yeah. Also, Mariah had also been on Dick Clark Productions back in 2005, ticking into 6, right?
Uh-huh.
Doing a little Emancipation medley back then.
Right. She was at the height of her comeback, if you will. And she gave a headlining set with We Belong Together and Let's Shake It Off and whatever, the hits of the year.
Right.
So she sort of started the whole trend of having a headliner right before the ball drops.
Okay, so Mariah's coming back. I'm excited as hell to see it.
Me too.
Yeah. And also, something that's a little different about it is Mariah has no new music to really promote on such a big platform. She was doing the Vegas residency with all her number ones, the Sweet Sweet Fantasy Tour. And
she had just come off the Sweet Sweet Fantasy Tour.
Exactly. So, like, nothing really new to sing for the people, but just she was giving them a medley of her hits.
Yeah. Well, it just shows that, Mariah is iconic. She has iconic songs she has an iconic catalog of hits that she doesn't necessarily need a new song to go out there and headline the show.
Right.
She already has a million in her bag.
Yeah.
That is a statement to her power in the industry and in the musical game.
Yeah. Okay. So it's 11:45, New Year's Eve, 2016. I'm at home I was originally watching Kathy Griffin and Anderson Cooper on CNN, but then, it got close to 11:40, so I flicked over to see what's going on. Watching it. There's Mariah, there's the fans, there's the big fur coat. Then I'm watching her, and I'm noticing that her lips are off. They're not lip syncing properly to the track. And I'm not mad at all about any sort of track that was going to be used, because it's Times Square, it's live TV. Like, use a track, I don't care.
Yeah.
So I'm watching. First I was thinking, these are new vocals.
Because she opens up with Auld Lang Syne.
Yes, exactly.
And that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, new vocals. Ooh, this is good. This is going to be real good.
Yeah, but that's when my magnifying glass comes out. And I'm like, why are her lips out of sync with this? I was like, this is weird. Is there a delay? I couldn't figure it out.
Right.
And so
she continues, and they have like the production. She took a little bit of her Vegas show and brought it to Times Square, because the guys had like the Vegas feathers, the fans and everything. And so there was like some drama to it.
Yeah.
But I think like she had that big fur coat on.
Right.
And then she was going to take it off after Auld Lang Syne and then go into Emotions.
Yeah, because there's 3 wardrobe moments. We had the coat, take it off, we got the bodysuit, and then there's going to be a clip-on dress for We Belong Together.
Correct. Which I love all of that.
Me too.
That is all amazing.
I still like it all.
Great.
She looked good.
I love it. I love that she's giving us versatility. I love that she's giving us moments. I'm all down for that. And we have Anthony Burrell, who is the creative director during this time. He's the one sort of putting all of this together. And I like it. I appreciate it.
Right. So I actually just did a reinvestigation of the crime, of the scene. And so she sings Auld Lang Syne, she's out of sync, so obviously there's a problem. I guess she's signaling that with her hand that there's an earpiece problem, so she's putting her hand to her ear. But then when they take off her fur coat, she pulls out the earpiece herself. So I think it was a combination of things. She flicks it out, Anthony's right there, grabs it and tucks it in behind her. That's where it went.
See, I investigated that scene as well, and I don't think he tucks it in. I think when the coat came off, it sort of had pulled something, and then you can see him, and you'd have to watch, and you watch this not through the actual airing.
Yeah.
But you have to watch it from the bootleg cameras of people's iPhones that were there at the time.
Oh no, see, I was, and then I went and did the actual airing, and that's when I see her pull it out. She puts her finger in, pulls it out.
Well, she could have done that, but there was also Anthony was right behind her.
I know, so I think,
and he was fiddling with something in the back of her coat.
Yeah, I mean, whatever
was whatever was happening, something was happening already right off the bat.
Right, but then whatever happened was gone after that.
Correct. It was not where she could grab it.
Exactly. And then I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
What is happening here?
Because
this is when we realize it's like a true disaster.
Train wreck already.
Because this is not supposed to be happening.
At all. Anyway, so I'm freaking out. She's not singing. She's standing there. I see, because we love moments on stage when her earpiece does break, because normally she gives us a funny moment. She'll ad-lib something. You know, it turns into a Lamb favorite moment. Always. Like, there's never been a bad earpiece moment, except for this one.
Right.
So I'm waiting for like a fun earpiece situation to happen. It's getting worse. She's getting pissed off. It's 11:45, so everybody's already stressed and high anxiety. And you can't stop. You got to keep it going. But the thing is, I was like, oh my God, this is the emotion. This is the emotions. I was like, oh my God, please don't let a high note kick in. I was like, oh my God, please don't.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Anyway, and then it did. I was like, oh my God. No, this is
like
horrible.
People know there's a track now. Oh
yes, no. I know. It was the worst. It kept getting worse and worse.
It did keep getting worse and worse, and you're sitting there sort of like in shock of like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is this really happening? Is this what's going on?
I know, right?
And I just remember not being able to breathe. I was just gasping like...
I know. Because it seemed like it was snowballing. Like she wasn't like going to jump in and catch up. Like it kept getting worse.
Right. And then at one point, and then she's just like talking like nonsense about like, oh, well, you know.
It went to number one. Yeah.
And then at one point she just puts the mic out to the fans to sing. And it's just like, girl. Yeah. However, if you watch some of the like raw footage from people who just recorded it with their iPhones, you can see there are times where she is really frustrated because she's like, you know, she stands there and she's like, I can't believe this is happening. And she's like taking these big breaths and she's like, she's like, just what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah. And when you watch those the iPhone footage, you can hear there's an echo like bouncing around. It's not the crisp vocal. Like she's probably confused with which track she's on.
Exactly. And it was just a mess from the beginning. And, you know, there were a lot of excuses at the time of like, oh, well, if the dancers can stay out and beat, why can't Mariah? And, you know, this, that, and the other. And I was like, no, if things are not going well, I don't care what's happened. You don't have to sing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, 100% she wasn't giving us another Rockefeller Christmas tree lighting.
Correct.
Raw
Again,
feed.
where the earpieces were not in her ear, so she could not hear.
Yeah, so she knew to just shut up, don't sing into this thing, this recording, and someone's going to leak it straight in a minute. So she just had to shut up and like deal with it.
Yeah, she did. But I think, and then, okay, so all through emotions, like she's just going through, all through emotions, she's going through the motions.
The emotions, yeah.
Just to get
Just to
done,
do something, yeah.
Just to get this over with, because then we go into We Belong Together, and you can tell that she's like, okay, well, this is just the album track, so, you know, maybe we can get, you know, redeem ourselves, because she knows the full track is going to be playing.
Right, I know, but then I was thinking, was she going to straight up play the CD?
Yes, she was.
But now she's been caught, so she's like, just pretend, she's trying to like not cover it up, but like, you know, admit it. Like, oh, this is the album track. Whoops. Didn't mean, this wasn't supposed to play, like, wink. Because now we know.
See, I saw it. Well, I think she had already been foiled at that point. So she didn't care to say, oh, I'm going to lip sync this.
Right.
Basically is what she was saying. So I don't think she was trying to, you know, wink, wink, say, oh, this is just the track. I think she was just frustrated and she didn't give a fuck what she was saying.
I know.
She's like, I'm going to let the people know now. Oh, now everybody wants to know. Okay, well, everyone's already going to be talking about it.
Yeah. But that's where it kept getting worse and worse, because now she's like half lip syncing. She's pissed off.
Yep. And now she was totally
sad.
over it. She's like, why am I even doing this?
I know.
Then she was completely over it by the time We Belong Together came on.
Oh, totally.
She's completely over it.
I did like the clip-on dress they added. Like, she still looked good.
Yes. But even if you watch some of the raw footage from people's iPhones, when they're she goes up on this little mini stage, she lip syncs, and then she's supposed to come down. And even when she's coming down those steps, they don't even have like the choreography to get her down the steps proper.
Oh yeah.
You know,
like Anthony like scoops her up.
Should I he like scoops her, because she's like, wait, are you supposed to take me, or am I walking, or what's happening?
Yeah.
Like, I think by that time, things just kept getting worse and worse, and no one's thinking clearly of, like, what's what's the next step?
Exactly. Like nobody knows what to do now.
Yeah.
But the worst, like all the cringe moments of like We Belong Together when she just like puts the mic down mid note.
Yeah.
Just doesn't even try to finish it.
She doesn't give a fuck at that point.
I know.
She doesn't give a fuck. And then towards the end of like the whole performance, like We Belong Together, she turns, like they, put the feathers all around her, and then she turns around and she looks like she's walking off the stage.
Yeah.
And she's not supposed to. And then like she sort of stops and she's like, turn around and goes back to the front of the stage. And like that's basically the end of the performance. But I think she was almost halfway gonna walk off the stage and be like,
"Oh yeah,
it.
Oh totally." I mean, it was just a disaster to watch.
It was quite a disaster. But looking back on it, it's obviously an iconic moment for her.
Oh yeah,
it has gone down in history.
Oh, 100. Yeah, it's going to be one of the best New Year's Eve performances ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
And
even though it's bad. It's going to be one of the best.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, Mariah's an icon. Anything she does, good or bad, is going to be talked about.
Yeah. I remember...
People still love her.
Yeah, I remember, like, Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters was talking about it, and he said, that was, like, so grunge of her, like, really grunge rock to just, like, fuck it and, like, perform like that. But still perform.
Yeah. It is what it is. There were a lot of people that sort of spoke out after this whole fiasco because everyone's like, well, what happened? And blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And so everybody wants to put their 2 cents in. But for the most part, most, celebrities or famous people or people who were like commenting on this, most people were like, shit happens. And, Mariah did the best she could.
Yeah.
Most people were really supportive because they know what it's like to have technical issues like that.
Well, ABC did a news piece like almost straight away and got I guess he's like a vocal coach, and he explained, he was like watching the clip saying she's signaling her earpiece isn't working, it's not working, she can't hear the track, you can't sing in Times Square and he totally defended her and explained like what went wrong.
Roger Love, vocal coach to stars like Selena Gomez and John Mayer, says that when performing live, noise from big audiences often overpower the music.
It is completely common for artists to have backing tracks. They have these things called in-ear monitors, which are like mini headsets. So she not only could not hear herself, she couldn't hear the music.
He points to the songstress repeatedly trying to communicate with her engineers.
She already is bringing her hand to her ear, signaling that she is having some issue.
So I think most people were coming to the defense of her.
Absolutely. I think most people were
professionals.
Yeah. People in the industry, who know what it's all about and how this all works. Mm-hmm. Most people sitting at home don't realize all of the technical aspects that go into this. And one little thing can F up the whole thing. And then the artist is sitting there like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. Well, so I have a friend who's a painter. He does like these huge canvases. And he was telling me that somebody approached him once to like do a live painting thing in a club or whatever, like make it a show. And he was like, no, I don't want to do that because like that's not my style and the conditions won't be right for me, and I don't want people around me. Like that's not how I do my paintings. That's not how I present my art. And so then I was like, that's so funny because then I brought up New Year's Eve of Mariah. I was like, that's what happened to Mariah. Like, it wasn't the right conditions. She couldn't hear herself. She couldn't present her artwork in the way she wanted to. So she just didn't do it. And then he was like, I never thought of that. But you're right.
Yeah,
it's like,
absolutely.
Now I respect her a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have to sort of remember that Mariah is not a performer per se. She is a songwriter, a vocalist.
Yeah.
The stage is not her comfort zone. The studio is.
Right.
That's where really her magic and creativity comes. So to be in that type of a situation, even though this is decades into her, illustrious career, people will be like, oh, well, she should know what to do. She's been on the stage for 20-something years. Mm-hmm. But no, because that's not her comfort zone.
Right. Exactly.
So when something does mess up, she's not going to always have the bounce back that maybe other people would because they're used to those situations. Mariah's not used to that. Mariah's creative environment is very controlled.
Right.
Out there in the middle of Times Square, it's not as controlled as one would want it to be.
Exactly, yes. Okay, so it happened. The fallout happened. All of a sudden, the Mariah can't sing anymore came back out from all the haters. Like, that's all we kept hearing. She can't sing. She can't sing. And then we got the statement, the official statements as to what happened. And that's when things got even worse.
Because now, because I'm already in the middle of hating what's happening with Mariah's world.
Yeah.
I'm hating her management even more. And then everybody has something to say on this. And of course, the management had something to say. Mariah had something to say. Mariah's ex-husband had something to say.
I know, right? Remember Tommy came out of the woodwork?
Everybody had something to say.
Yeah. So Tommy Mottola, Mariah's ex-husband / first boss, I guess, came out of the woodwork saying, Mariah's incredibly talented. She needs more seasoned professionals around her.
Exactly.
Something to that nature. AKA Stella is unqualified.
Yeah. She's bootleg.
Bootleg, yes.
She's bootleg.
And that's when Stella started, clapping back at people. And we got to see her, how she handles these situations, blaming everybody else, not taking responsibility.
She even had something to say about Tommy Mottola's statement.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this just shows how unclassy and unprofessional this woman is.
Oh, totally.
And to have her representing somebody who is the epitome of class, Mariah, is just, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, totally. Well, I mean, the biggest mistake was Dick Clark Productions was willing to say, oh, listen, this was a big fuck up, and do a joint statement together, with Mariah and Dick Clark Productions, and just say, this was a mistake, we apologize, it happened, let's move on from this. Instead of joining forces and just admitting it and moving on, there was this retaliation between the two camps.
Yeah.
That just made it worse. Yeah,
there was nothing but, because Stella refused to release the joint statement.
Yeah.
So
which is
completely stupid.
Yeah.
Just move forward, everything went wrong. There's nothing you can do to change it. Let's move forward.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want to do that. She wanted to sit in the negativity and create more negativity.
Exactly, yeah.
By releasing statements and pointing fingers and accusing, Dick Clark Productions, who are nothing but professionals and have been in the business, like I said earlier, for decades, producing amazing television musical specials. And things. You cannot do that. That's disrespectful.
Oh, totally. Well, we also realized, Stella's using this as an opportunity to get her face on the cameras.
Exactly.
And that's when we're why are you talking?
She sat down with everybody from Billboard magazine to Entertainment Tonight, and we're like,
what are you doing?
Why is that woman who nobody knows who she is speaking on Mariah's behalf? I was like, I'm not listening to any of this garbage, this trash that she is sitting there in front of my face telling me what happened.
Crazy.
I don't appreciate that. So she was out there doing all these things, and then I was like I'm not listening to any of this. And then Mariah released her own statement.
Right, but it was kind of still in the line of what Stella's been saying, and it did sound scripted,
rehearsed and scripted 100%. I don't think Mariah was being. I just don't think she had proper
representation.
Representation, or what do you call it when you have support, or your friends help you?
A support system.
She didn't have a support system.
Yeah.
I haven't really addressed the situation that happened on New Year's Eve, and in time I will. But for now, I want everyone to know that I came to New Year's Eve in New York in great spirits and was looking forward to a celebratory moment with the world. It's a shame that we were put into the hands of a production team with technical issues who chose to capitalize on circumstances beyond our control. It's not practical for a singer to sing live and be able to hear themselves properly in the middle of Times Square with all the noise, the freezing cold, the smoke from the smoke machines, thousands of people celebrating, especially when their ear monitors were not working at all. Listen, guys, they foiled me. Thus, it turned into an opportunity to humiliate me and all those who were excited to ring in the new year with me. Eventually, I will explain this in greater detail for anyone who cares to hear. I cannot deny that my feelings are hurt, but I'm working through this, and I'm truly grateful for my fans and my true friends who have been so supportive in this time. I'm going to take a break from media moments, social media moments. Although I am going to fulfill my professional obligations, this is an important time for me to finally take a moment for myself and to be with my loved ones and prepare for my upcoming tour in March. I just want to thank everyone for their support. Thank you to all my industry friends, and thank you to my lambs. You're always there for me. I can't imagine life without you, and you'll always be a part of me. I can't wait to sing for you again.
You know, she didn't have people telling her. All she had was the negativity that Stella was circulating.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have anybody else. And so she went and released a statement, which was, to her, probably the truth from her perspective.
What she was fed, what she was told.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, when you're looking at the whole situation from outside, you can see that Mariah she's been misled into believing things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's the sick part of it all. Sick.
Well, I think that's where the major fracture came for, like, the fans, the Lamely and the Stella. You know, like, Stella trying to paint this facade for us. Like, we're best friends, we're sister wives. Like, I'm the one that's going to help Mariah be the best in the world again. She was trying to make us believe that, and that's when we're like, no, we're not doing this anymore.
No, that's not what we're doing here.
Yeah.
We're not becoming best friends.
Uh-huh.
We're not good Judys.
Yeah.
Bitch, you work for me.
Exactly.
You know, and just the whole fact that she wanted to get involved in everything and put her face out there and her name out there. No, that's...
Red flag all around.
Red flag all around.
Mm-hmm.
All around.
Don't forget, you and I were also hosting Mariah's World in the club at Rise Bar on a weekly basis. And so New Year's Eve happened, and we're like, oh my God, we have to get up on stage in the front of the public of all the gays.
I know.
And pretend Mariah's, like, really cool.
And we have to pretend like this is, like, the most amazing thing
like
ever.
Like nothing happened for 4 more weeks.
I know. It was quite an interesting moment. But we did it because that's what we do. That's what we do. We support Mariah no matter what. We will defend her. We will make you change your mind about Mariah. I guarantee you.
Uh-huh.
That's what we do. So it was like, oh, Lord, now we really got to do it. Because, you know, we always do it. But now we're like, oh, girl, we're going to have to lie through our teeth on this one.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do it real good.
Anyway, so I feel like the whole... don't forget, poor Anthony Burrell got, air quotes, fired as a result.
Right. Allegedly, he got fired, but Anthony says that his contract was up at the end of that year anyways, which it probably was.
Yeah, and he's probably like, I don't want to work with that monster anymore.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Why?
Bring Beyonce. What are you doing? He was like...
Right, so now he's over there working with Beyonce, which is great and amazing and everything's wonderful.
Yeah.
We wish him the best.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Well, now that he's... Mariah's Rock Nation, maybe he can float around.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
He's welcome back.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think any of this was his fault. And I think, again, from Camp Mariah, they were trying to say that it was Anthony's fault for so many reasons.
Blaming everybody else.
You know, Anthony Burrell's the one who moved the backup singers off the stage and this, that, and the other and blah, blah, blah. And they were trying to blame him for so much.
Yeah.
It's just like, are y'all serious?
But even like...
Y'all gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, you know, like I said, like, from what my eyes saw, everybody can go and do their own investigation. Mariah flicked the earpiece out. He grabbed it, tucked it. It was probably like a what do you do in this moment situation. Like, oh, she doesn't want that anymore? Let me just tuck it in so it's not flicking around. So she looks good. It was probably just a in-the-moment mistake he made. You don't have to fire him for it.
No,
he wasn't him
fired.
For the whole thing.
He wasn't fired.
But you know what I mean? Like, in their mind, he was fired.
Well, yeah. Well, call it what you will, but, you know, it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
It wasn't anyone's fault except for whoever was driving the bus. And we already know who was driving the bus.
And doing all the accusations, because we're over here getting different information from Anthony and Mariah's team. And so we're thinking, who's telling the truth now? What's going on?
Right.
There's a problem here.
Right. So we never really did get a full reasoning why it happened. But when a disaster like that happens, there are so many parts at play that you really can't put it down to one reason why this happened.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody has to take the blame, and it's the bus driver.
Right, exactly. So the fallout happened. Mariah's now like the butt of everybody's joke again. Like she's at the Academy Awards. Jimmy Fallon's joking about her. Jimmy Kimmel's got jokes. Like everyone's got jokes now. It's just all over the place.
Right. It was almost like a revisiting of the glitter era.
Yeah.
Where Mariah then became fodder for everyone's jokes. From late night TV to water cooler talk.
Yeah.
She was on the lips of everybody, and they weren't saying nice things.
I know. It was a rough time.
And I don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't. But Mariah continued through the year. She did say she was taking a quick break from like social media and whatnot, but she was probably planning on doing that anyways.
But I think she was gone for like 2 minutes. She started like posting shit straight away.
Right, because she had a show that she was doing overseas at the Dubai Jazz Festival.
Right. She's going to do
She had a new single out to promote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the I Don't was coming out. Oh, yeah, that didn't even come out yet. We didn't even know about it.
No, I think I Don't was thrown in at the last minute of Mariah's world.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I will say for me, Mariah, you know, she doesn't need redemption. But like when she went to Jimmy Kimmel and gave us that version of A Vision of Love.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, see, this bitch, she's fine. She's just fine.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It was just a disaster.
Yeah.
And it happens.
It happens.
It happened.
Okay, so New Year's Eve happened. We're like traumatized by it all. Even like as the end of the year was coming, I was getting like a little anxiety just from remembering like it all going down.
Like of the 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, it was coming up. Had total PTSD. So then we're surprised all of a sudden. Meanwhile, the Nightmare era has ended. Stella is gone. We have a new team. New team has come in. Rock Nation is now our label, I guess. So the whole new Mariah is back. And so she's going back to New Year's Eve to redeem herself.
That was big. That was big.
Big.
I mean, to have the courage to do that, because you know, like, everyone's going to be talking about it.
Yeah.
And for her to have the courage to do that and go out there and do as well as she did, I mean, it just speaks volumes of who she is as a person and her talent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like last year, before New Year's Eve and like even during it, she was maybe fucking around too much, not taking her vocals seriously, not taking, you know, her profession in a serious manner. I feel like now, a year later with the new team, she's taking it seriously again.
Right. But again, that goes to show that were people around her, though. Like, Mariah's only taking it as serious as everyone else around her will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because, you know, to have a career as big as Mariah's, there's a lot of people involved.
Yeah.
So, you know, you need that system around you.
Right.
So, yeah, when you're being sidetracked by a greedy manager
and their kids
and their kids to be doing all these other things, you don't have focus because your focus is everywhere else, but except for what your real talent is.
Mm-hmm.
They're using your name to sell things, and not using your talent.
Exactly.
And that was a big mistake. And that's basically what made the whole Nightmare era a nightmare.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, but anyways, to round it out, 1 year later, Mariah comes back to New Year's Eve with a whole fresh look on things, a whole new team.
Yeah.
Mariah's spirits are back, and she kills the show. She does an amazing job, and, you know, everyone's praising her.
Yeah. She absolutely nailed it. It was nerve-wracking because it happened to also be the coldest New Year's Eve ever. For the history of that show.
Yes.
Big Class Productions. And as someone from Australia who's never experienced these sub-zero temperatures, so we do things in Celsius, it got to like, I think, minus 12 to 11. If you've never felt that on your skin, you don't know what you're dealing with. Like, it's actually painful. Your muscles freeze up. Your voice dries out. Your mouth, your teeth hurt just opening your mouth. Like, it is brutal.
And it becomes hard to move your lips as well.
Yeah, like it literally, like your mouth literally freezes.
Like frozen.
Like, you know, when you hurt yourself, they say put ice on it because it just like numbs it. Like that's what's happening. Your whole face is getting numb.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
and
it's more than freezing.
For 7 minutes, like Mariah did, she had to be frozen. She had to be.
For sure.
For sure. Mm-hmm. But she did an amazing job. She opened up with Vision of Love, which is what I thought she should have done, which was great.
Yep.
And
I like how they arranged it, like that little pause. It was a little bit faster at the end. I liked it.
She did a great job, but I really was blown away by her rendition of Hero. Yeah, it was so good. The bridge.
Yep.
Amazing.
It was all 100%. And live. A lot of people were like, no, she wasn't live. I was listening going,
Mariah
it was live.
Completely live.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah. Because she knows she knows everybody is out there trying to get her now.
Exactly. And she, you know, in the public's eye, she is vindicated or she's redeemed.
Yeah.
For us, I mean, Mariah doesn't need any of that, like redemption or, you know, all of that, or because we already know she's been doing good.
Yeah.
And she's been singing amazing.
But I think,
so for us, this is, you know, it's just knowing that other people now feel the way that we do.
I know. And now when people try to bring up the 2016 New Year's Eve, we can say, didn't you watch last year's? Like, come on. Like, relax.
Come on.
Why are you bringing that up?
Guys.
Yeah, why are you bringing that up?
It was a one moment thing.
Yeah.
That's all it was. We can leave it there. We can laugh at it. We can, you know, do whatever we want to do with it. It was just a moment.
So when she was doing Vision of Love, I was loving it. I was like, okay, good. This is excellent. I was trying to like really enjoy it. But then when she's like, I'm just gonna have a quick sip of tea. Where is it? I was like, holy fuck. Like, oh my God. The next song is going to be fucked up. The vocal cords are frozen.
Yeah, but they weren't. They weren't.
They worked.
Everything was fine.
I know.
And Mariah did a great job, and she went out and she had a nice festive time afterwards. So it was almost like a full circle moment.
Yeah.
To come back and show everyone what she still is capable of. And, you know, New Year's Eve is now going to be like, everyone's always going to remember that Mariah performance. So, you know, she's conquered Christmas and now she took over New Year's Eve too.
Might as well.
Why not if you got a little extra time?
But it also feels good to know that, like, while we were hating on Stella for the Nightmare era, we weren't crazy. Because now she gets the new team.
I know I wasn't crazy.
I know, but now she gets the new team, it's a million times better. So, like, okay, yeah, we did have reason to.
We knew what was going on. I mean,
get angry.
I haven't been following this woman for 27 years to not know what's going on and what I don't see with my own eyes. Mm-hmm. You know, and obviously I'm not in Team Mariah, but, you know, I'm on Team Mariah, but I'm not in it.
Right.
So obviously they know more than I do, but it's all about what I'm perceiving as where I am as a fan.
Right, exactly.
And then knowing where everyone else is perceiving Mariah, you know? So that's, believe me, I know when it comes to that, I know what's happening. Mm-hmm. And I'm just glad that she's back in the good graces of everybody.
Can we talk about Mariah serving us Emancipation of Mimi all over again? Looks-wise?
Yeah, absolutely. She gave us another Times Square moment from the Emancipation of Mimi Good Morning America concert in Times Square.
I know, like a part 2, take 2 of it.
Yeah, it was like the updated version.
Yeah.
And I loved it. She looked gorgeous. I loved that colored dress on her.
I like the photo.
Her hair was great.
I loved
everything. Yeah. She was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, she looked great in 2016 as well.
Right.
She looked great both times. Mm-hmm. But this time around, she was even a little bit better.
I know. I feel like the dress was perfect. The hair was perfect. Everything looked good. Everything was perfect.
Everything was good.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
It was just like perfect. Nice to see her. Like, oh my God, Mariah, you're back.
But it's the thing that, like, Mariah, I think in the past, you know, maybe since the Glitter era, she's sort of been known for having ups and downs. Uh-huh. Whereas, you know, through the 90s, she was always on an up.
Right.
Mariah knows, and, you know, like, that's just crazy. Who has, like,
consistent
10 to 11 years of ups in their career. Mm-hmm. But it's natural and normal to have ups and downs. Right. And I know that, you know, Mariah's a strong girl, just like, you know, she's been having ups and downs most of her life. So she got this, she can handle it. She can be knocked down and she can come straight back up bigger and better than ever. Mm-hmm. And that's what she's done.
Yeah. It's just nice to relax.
It is. It's a good time to be a lamb.
Like, it's just nice that she can like check out now for a bit and go do whatever, and I can go back to my life, and we can just be like, she's okay. Everybody's
right,
fine.
It's all, when it comes to, the media and being in the public eye, everyone will remember your last thing. Right. And if your last thing you did was a great performance in Times Square, that's what they're going to remember. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to, always end on a good note.
Exactly.
And that's what's happened. So 2018, here we come.
There's a lot of, first of all, everyone's talking about the hot tea meme. She's the first meme of the year, which is great. We love that. There's a lot of people saying Mariah's the new groundhog for the year. If she does well, it's a good year. If she fucks up, it's a bad year. So that's kind of cute. People are into it, making a joke of it now. And
right.
They're over it.
And that's the thing. Mariah will always be talked about, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
Because she's a legend.
Exactly.
I love it. I love that people get the humor of it. I love that Mariah gets the humor of it all. Mm-hmm. And, if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at?
I know. That's what you can do.
That's all you can do. With or without hot tea.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Is that it? That's it, right?
I think that's about it. Yeah. A nice little recap.
Yeah.
Of some New Year's Eve moments.
Exactly. So that's put the debacle to bed and move forward in a good space now, which is great.
Exactly. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
We're following, the direction of Mariah.
Yes. Follow the star.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Don't forget to support the show at patreon.com/The Mariah Report for as little as $1. There's bonus content over there. You can also leave an iTunes review. That helps the show grow as well. And thanks for listening.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.